Today, I would like to address two primary questions that my friends keep asking me from time to time. And one of them is fully funded scholarships in the UK, and second is regarding the admission process. For scholarships, fully funded scholarships, I'm not well informed that I should be recommending any options. All I know, there are two scholarships. One of them is Shielding, which is fully funded scholarship. Another one for Pakistani students is Commonwealth, which is for all the Commonwealth countries. So there are some strings attached to those two scholarships, and probably, I'm not exactly sure. Once we have completed the program, master's program, then we have to go back to our home countries, and then serve in our home countries. Those are strings, conditions attached to those scholarships. However, uh, they are very competitive, and honestly speaking, I was not that much competitive, for that reason, the only option I was left with is to apply for some self-funded option. And when we are applying for self-funded option, we need to bear in mind, uh, all the time all the time universities are awarding certain amount of money, is a scholarship, or we can call it a discount, because in every university there is a certain amount of money which is donated to that university, maybe by different charity organizations, alumni funds. There are different categories of funds which are with the universities, and then whoever is applying, and then they keep awarding a certain amount of money, and distribute amongst those students. And once that amount has been consumed, then the students have to pay a full amount of money. So that is awarded by the universities, and there is a partial funding, or we can call it partial scholarship. Like in my case, when I applied for MBA program, so my MBA program's fees was 31,450 pounds, and I got 10,000 pounds of scholarship. After 10,000, I had to pay 21,450 pounds, and quite frankly speaking, if I had not been awarded that scholarship, or partial scholarship or funding, then probably my second option would have been to go for University of Sussex, because in University of Sussex, I got around 6,000 pounds of scholarship. Therefore, there are partial fundings, which are awarded to all the students. But when we are applying for any university in any country, we should be a bit more strategic. And one of the strategy can be, we should be applying well before the starting of that program, and ideally we should apply 1 year before. For instance, if somebody wants to come to the UK in September 2024 or January 2025, this is the ideal time. Why I call this as ideal time? For two reasons. We can get the maximum amount of scholarship, and number two, we also have significant time to sort out accommodation, because in UK accommodation is a serious problem. Even when I was applying for the UK, I got option. I got the admission. After securing the admission, I did not have any accommodation option, and that was a serious challenge. And I was seriously thinking that I should be postponing my program and defer it for the next intake, and that was going to be September 2022. But then somehow I managed to secure my accommodation, and then I just came over in January 2022. Therefore, the best option is to apply 1 year before starting of that program. Secondly, that will also provide us sufficient room to book accommodation at a reasonable rate, because we'll have more options. Otherwise, we might face sometimes difficulty, because international students are going to face challenges in a different country. And secondly, there's acute shortage of accommodation. So even when I was moving to Reading, I booked my accommodation probably 2 months before moving to Reading. Likewise, we should be a bit more strategic in our approach. Secondly, when we talk about the admission process is quite simple. We simply, there are 3 or 4 documents which are needed for applying in any university. One of them is personal statement, and we have to describe what are our aims and aspirations for that particular program, and why we are preferring that particular university, and then what are our aims and ambitions for future, and how that program is contributing towards our career development. So these are some of the elements of motivational letter or personal statement. Then we would need to uh, recommendation letters. If you're doing job, one should be from your last employer, ideally. Second, from university, or both should be from your employers, in case you have passed out from that university since a long for a number of years. And then if you'll just visit website of that university, you just need to sign up for that program and then create your account and then just upload the documents. In for some of the programs, universities do conduct interviews, and for other programs they directly offer admissions. So at this stage, if you want to apply, then simply uh, just apply with those documents along with CV. And I for IELTS or TOEFL or any other English proficiency test, you can apply later on once you're secured the admission, because the process is, without IELTS we can apply in those universities, and once we are secured, conditional later. So the condition would be the uh, we should provide proficiency certificates such as IELTS, TOEFL, or any other proficiency certificate, which depends upon the university's requirements. And then the university would provide unconditional letter. And for another thing that I would like to add in my earlier discussion, in case we are applying 1 year before the start of our intended intake, then that will also provide us a significant time for financial management, because in UK minimum tuition fees can be between 12-13,000 pounds, and then it will go up and up, depends upon which university you want to choose. For Russell Group universities, they are a bit more expensive. Another recommendation that I would like to aid up into this discussion is, we should apply for instance now for September intake, and once we have secured unconditional letter, we should pay £2,000, and then after 2-3 months, then we should pay another 2-3 thousand, and then after 2-3 months before applying visa, another 2-3 thousand. So in this way we will be able to pay almost half of the amount that we have to pay to the university. And Then once you have applied for the visa and completed all the visa related requirements, including bank statement and visa fees, national national NHS insurance fees, and you have come to the UK, then just pay that amount of money in small chunks. It will also be helpful. It will not be causing any pain, because you will be paying in installments, and then you have, and let's say you're applied now, you're paid till August half of the amount of money, and till the completion of your degree, which is going to take place in September 2025, you got another year to pay your remaining fees. Also, another mistake that most of our students are making, uh, try to pay your fees. uh, do not depend that you will be able to cover your fees from part-time jobs. It's going to be very challenging, and one of the caveat is, if you'll be doing job more than 20 hours, then first and foremost that is going to be illegal. Secondly, you will be exploited by the employers. And thirdly, that will also be affecting your studies. I would highly emphasize, do not and not at all compromise with your studies when you are coming over here, because you are leaving your home country for some reason, some purpose, and you need to achieve that purpose, and you should be focused on towards your studies. However, during the studies, like all the students, like myself as well, we have all done part-time jobs to cover our running expenses, such as accommodation, food expenses. So just cover that amount of money from your part-time jobs, and just stay focused towards your studies, and then securing some full-time job. Because there is one of the mistakes that I have seen in the UK, most of my fellow students are doing. They are most of the time just paying deposit and then coming to the UK, and then they are busy most of the time doing the odd jobs, and then they are spending a lot of their time in those odd jobs, and then at the end we are so exhausted, then we do not want to keep in perspective the long-term goals of securing some good jobs. So let's not make that mistake, and stay focused towards some purpose, towards some goal, and the reason we are here for. So do not waver from your vision. Stay strategic, stay focused towards your long-term goals, and do not be distracted by temporary short-term opportunities. So that is all two things I wanted to address, because I used to uh, keep receiving messages from my friends. So I'm sure this will be a bit helpful for those who wanted to apply. Processes are simpler, easier, straightforward from the universities, and universities are all the time helping, very responsive. So just try to explore the university's websites and then keep applying. If anyone needs any help, I'm all the time available to help and facilitate during this process, but only for those who want to apply for some self-funded programs, because I'm not. My apologies, because I'm not familiar with fully funded scholarships.